We start off in some random alley, completely homeless and broke. I decide to wander around for a bit until I get a new murder case that I can investigate. After getting the victim's address, I head to their house, only to find that the police have beat me to it. So I decide to go ask the neighbors to see if they've seen anything odd while the police search their house. Turns out they saw some weird short person wandering around, and so I mark that down on my murder board. Since the police were guarding the door of the murder victim's house, I decide to just go through the vents and make my way inside. Searching around the house, I find the victim's body and a hammer around them. While searching the body, I find some tobacco, a dirty napkin, and they were murdered with a blunt object. I search around for fingerprints a little before I hop on the phone to see what their last call was. Turns out they must have not been very popular because they did not call anyone at all. Searching the random box of files in their closet, I find their work agreement and also the place where they work. While searching through the drawer, I find more tobacco and their password, which then I use to get into their safe and steal their stuff. After this, I just start wandering around, opening random drawers and taking whatever I can find. Turns out our victim was being stalked by their murderer before it happened. This point is further cemented after I read their diary and find that their murderer was a skinny, short, long person. I quickly fix my murder board and then start hopelessly looking around for more fingerprints on the door. Turns out the door is counted as outside of the house, and so none of the fingerprints that I found really meant anything. But I didn't know this, so I thought that 15 different people were all connected to this murder somehow. Then I found fingerprint type O, which was actually relevant to the case. After this, I head to the victim's place of work in order to investigate a bit more. I found a creepy note, and after making my way into the manager's office, I find someone with the type O fingerprint, which gave me my first suspect. I was able to find their password and make my way into their computer, finding their address. But on my way there, I found another body. Right after this, the police finally arrived at the crime scene and saw me standing over the dead body, so they shot at me, causing me to end up in the hospital. Right after this, I guess they realized I wasn't the murderer because they were just willing to let me go as long as I paid for the medical fees of the injuries that they caused. But I decided that capitalism sucks, so I decided to run away without paying my medical fees. I felt so cool as I made my dash outside of the hospital room and off the floors, down to the next, then down to the next, then out the exit. I felt so cool. After this, I was pretty sure fingerprint type O was the murderer, so I tried going to their house, but ended up at the wrong one. After spending way too much time at the wrong house, I finally realized my mistake. I broke into the killer's home and searched around for something. After finding lots and lots of alcohol, I realized that the killer was definitely an alcoholic. I also found some really weird fanfic about the Rat King and some dude named Derek. After this, I was pretty sure that this person had to be the killer because no one else could write fanfic this bad. After this, I made my way outside of the apartment in order to buy handcuffs so I can arrest the killer. Arriving at her place of work, I decided to ask her a few questions and then follow her around to see what she does. I also decided to take this time to steal whatever money I could find, resulting in me getting chased by the police and everyone who worked inside the building. After running around and hiding in the vents until everyone forgot about me robbing them, I got out and waited around for the killer to leave work. While sneakily following her from close behind, this happens, which led me to believe that she was a witch. Also, it made everyone start chasing me because it glitched me inside of private property. But I ran outside the building and I was fine. Eventually I made my way to the killer's house when she went inside, and I decided to wait outside when her husband or roommate or someone came home, and I talked to him a bit. Then mid-conversation, he just changed into a suit and went inside. So I busted down the door, broke inside, ate their raw chicken, then left until I heard her roommate screaming for help. So I busted down the door and he started attacking me. Anyway, here's the footage of me beating up an innocent man to the copyright-free music that I found. Once they were both knocked out, I put the killer in handcuffs and arrested her. When I accused her of being a murderer, she didn't even deny it. She just said, "Took you long enough," and mocked me, maybe? While searching her, I found another dirty napkin, so I guess that was all connected. And I made the resolution case. Turns out the murderer was the victim's colleague, and she was also a raging alcoholic. So I guess the moral of the story is don't do drugs. Anyway, if you've made it this far, then why? This isn't that good. You could be doing so much better stuff. I'm sure your laundry would be more entertaining. Tune in next time to watch me lose all my money in a casino and spend the next 10 years trying to get it back. Eventually I made my way down to the police office and I turned in the resolution case, and it turned out I got most everything correct, but I did arrest the correct killer and solve my first case.